Everything you have been told about reality is incomplete. The world you observe, the life you lead, the limitations you believe in are part of an illusion so cleverly constructed that you never question it. But beneath the surface, beyond the reach of official history and conventional science, lies a secret knowledge so powerful it has been deliberately hidden, a knowledge that, once understood, unlocks faculties far beyond what is commonly thought possible. The emerald tablets of Thoth hold wisdom that transcends time, teachings dating back over 36,000 years, hidden in stone, awaiting those who are ready to reclaim their forgotten power. They are not myths or metaphors, but a blueprint for mastering existence itself. What if you were never meant to be trapped in this cycle of struggle, limitation, and uncertainty? What if you had access to an inner magic that could reshape your reality? If in these first moments you feel that what you are listening to awakens something inside you, leave a like immediately. That way I will know that you too recognize that reality is not as we have been told. It is the silent signal between us that you are ready to see beyond the veil. I will understand it, and you will know that you have made the first gesture towards awakening. The time has come to reveal the truth they never wanted you to know. Everything around you seems solid, real, and unshakable. The ground beneath your feet, the objects you touch, even the body you inhabit, all seem undeniable. But this too is part of the illusion. The emerald tablets reveal a truth most people will never accept. You are not your body, your thoughts, your name, or even your mind. You are something immeasurably greater. Consciousness is your very essence, an eternal awareness that temporarily resides in a physical form, never bound by it. From the moment you were born, you have been led to believe that you are limited to flesh and bones, that your body represents who you are, and that once it ceases to exist, you vanish. But these teachings expose this belief as a deception, designed to keep you in a state of narrowness. Thoth described the body as a vessel, an instrument lent to you by the universe to interact with this reality. Just as a cup contains water but is not the water itself, so it is with you. It is your consciousness that shapes the body, not the other way around. Modern science is beginning to understand what the ancients already knew. Quantum physics suggests that the observer affects reality, that consciousness itself shapes the physical world. Experiments have shown that subatomic particles behave differently depending on whether they are observed or not. If mere observation can alter the fabric of reality, what does that tell us about the power of the mind? The Emerald Tablets spoke to this thousands of years ago, revealing that reality is not a prison you are locked in, but something you actively create every moment. Think of times you have felt a profound insight, an awareness that defies logic, or moments when time seemed to slow down and your thoughts alone seem to influence the events around you. These are not accidents, but rather glimpses of your true nature, a reminder that your consciousness is not confined to this physical plane. But over the generations, society has stripped you of this understanding, reinforcing the idea that you are merely a fragile human being at the mercy of a chaotic world. The truth is, you were never meant to be bound by such limitations. The knowledge of your true essence has been buried, distorted, and dismissed as myth. Once you understand that you are not just a body, a new question arises. What else has been hidden from you? The illusion of physicality is only the first layer of control. The next is even more subtle, for it governs your every action, thought, and belief. You have been led to believe that time flows in a straight line, from the past to the present to the future, that time is something to be chased, something that slips away, a force to be raced against. But the truth is far more strange, for time itself is an illusion. You have been taught that time is a relentless march with no return, that every lost second is gone forever, that you are bound by the limits of your age, past decisions, and an uncertain future. But this is one of the greatest lies ever forced upon the human mind. The Emerald Tablets of Thoth reveal that time does not move in a straight line, is not something to be chased or feared, but a force that bends, coils, and cyclically repeats itself, regardless of the perception to which you have been conditioned. Once you understand this, you will never experience reality the same way again. Thoth described time as a series of repeating cycles, similar to the rhythm of nature itself. The sun rises and sets, the seasons change, the tides rise and fall. Nothing moves in a straight line. Everything repeats itself, eternally fluctuating through cycles of existence. What if your life, your experiences, and even your soul's journey followed the same pattern? What if time wasn't something you moved through, but rather an environment you existed in, allowing you to move in and out of moments as you would across a room? Modern physics is only now beginning to confirm what Thoth revealed millennia ago. Scientists studying quantum mechanics have hypothesized that past, present, and future can coexist simultaneously. Time, they suggest, is not a flowing river but a vast ocean in which every point is accessible at any time. Experiments in particle physics hint at the same truth. What we call the past can be affected by choices made in the present, proving that time is far more fluid than we have been taught to believe. Thoth understood this reality, writing that time does not change, but all things change in time. If time is cyclical, what you experience as déjà vu is not a simple trick of the mind, but rather a tear in the veil, a moment when the illusion is shattered and you remember what you were never meant to remember. If time is not truly linear, then what you call past lives are not behind you, but are unfolding in parallel, accessible only if you knew how to reach them. The deeper you delve into the teachings of Thoth, the more evident it becomes that time is not a prison, but a force that, once understood, can be navigated. This knowledge has been hidden for a reason. If you understood that time does not imprison you, you would no longer be bound by regret, by aging, by fear of the unknown. You would see beyond the distractions of modern life and access your full power. This is what the ancient initiates knew, those who walked the hidden paths of wisdom while the rest of the world remained blind. They drew upon the knowledge throughout the ages, saw the patterns within history, and used them to shape their reality. They understood that the future is not something that happens, but something you project yourself into, something you align yourself with. But herein lies the greatest deception of all. If time does not truly bind you, then neither does death. If consciousness moves beyond time, what happens when the body ceases to function? You have been conditioned to perceive death as the end, as an abyss from which no one returns. But the teachings of Thoth reveal a truth so profound and transformative that once understood, even fear itself begins to dissolve. The idea of an end is an illusion, for death is but a transition. You have been told that death is the cessation of existence, that when the body fails, your essence is extinguished like a flame in the wind, never to return. This fear has shaped your entire life, whether you know it or not. It determines the choices you avoid, the risks you do not take, the limits you place on yourself. But this fear is based on a lie. The emerald tablets of Thoth reveal a truth so ancient and powerful that those who understood it ceased to fear death altogether, for it is not the end, but a threshold, a metamorphosis, not a final conclusion. The self you know, the awareness that hears these words, does not cease to exist with the departure of the body. It shifts, it transforms, it continues. Thoth described the process of death as a change in frequency. He spoke of the flame of life, an eternal force that cannot be destroyed but only changed in form. He revealed that the body is but a temporary container, a vessel for consciousness to be cast aside when no longer needed. But consciousness itself, the very essence of who you are, moves on, entering another realm of existence. For this reason, ancient civilizations did not view death as an end, but as a transition to something greater. The Egyptians, who worshipped Thoth as a god of wisdom, believed that the soul traveled through the halls of Amenti, a realm where one's true essence was weighed, purified, and reborn. Modern science is also beginning to confirm what the ancients knew. Studies of near-death experiences reveal consistent patterns. People report leaving their bodies, experiencing deeper awareness, and seeing beyond the physical realm. They describe a continuity of existence that transcends the limitations of the material world. If death were truly the end, why would such experiences be so consistently reported across cultures, times, and contexts? And if consciousness were merely a function of the brain, why would awareness persist even when the body no longer functions? The answer is simple. You are not the body you never were. The body is a tool, a biological interface for experiencing this dimension. But once its purpose is served, you return to a higher awareness that exists beyond time and space. This is what Thoth meant when he wrote that man is a flame tied to a mountain, but the flame is not the mountain. Your physical form is bound to the earth, but the fire that burns within you belongs to the cosmos. This knowledge has been deliberately hidden. If humanity truly understood that death is not an end, the entire system of control would collapse. The fear of death keeps people obedient, afraid to take risks, to ask questions, to live authentically. This is why history has been rewritten and ancient wisdom suppressed, because those who understand death know that life is limitless. What happens after death? What lies beyond the veil? Thoth described realms beyond human perception, places where the soul travels before returning to physical form. He spoke of energy fields, cycles of consciousness, and a process of transformation that precedes rebirth. This knowledge, once accessible to ancient initiates, has been hidden but not lost. Those who seek will find, and those who understand will no longer be bound by fear. Once you understand that death is merely a transition, another truth becomes clear. Life itself is not what it seems. What you experience as reality is merely a projection, a vibration that you tune into. Just as the body is not who you are, the physical world is not all there is. There is something deeper, unseen, that holds the key to unlocking the true power of your consciousness, and the emerald tablets reveal exactly what that is. What if everything you perceive as reality is not solid, but an illusion shaped by energy and vibration? You have been taught to think of the physical world as something absolute, external to you, fixed and immutable. But the emerald tablets of Thoth reveal a truth so profound that it radically transforms your perception of existence itself. Reality is not made of matter, but of frequencies. Everything you see, touch, and experience is nothing more than energy vibrating at different levels. The key to unlocking your true power lies in understanding how to change your own frequency. Thoth taught that everything in existence, including your body, your thoughts, and even your emotions, is made up of vibrational patterns. The only difference between one form and another is the frequency at which it vibrates. This is why sound can shatter glass, why certain emotions affect your health, and why certain places or people are energetically uplifting to you, while others are debilitating. You are constantly interacting with these invisible forces, whether you know it or not. Modern science is beginning to bridge the gap with this ancient knowledge. Quantum physics has revealed that subatomic particles do not exist in a fixed state until observed. Everything, in its essence, is energy fluctuating between different states, influenced by consciousness itself. This concept aligns perfectly with what Thoth wrote millennia ago. All things are formed by the breath of the Great One. Vibration is the key to everything. He understood that what we perceive as reality is not solid, but a continuous motion of energy shaped by consciousness. You have already felt the effects of vibration in your daily life. Have you ever walked into a room and immediately felt a palpable tension without a word being spoken? Or found yourself next to someone who radiated peace and positivity, making you feel instantly at ease? It is not about imagination, but about energy, frequencies that interact and influence each other. The same principle applies to your thoughts and emotions. When you find yourself in a state of fear, worry, or anger, your frequency lowers and you attract experiences that resonate with that energy. When you operate from a state of clarity, trust, and serenity, you begin to align with higher vibrations and your reality shifts accordingly. This is why ancient mystics, sages, and initiates of the mystery schools practiced meditation, sound healing, and mantra chanting. These were not mere rituals, but techniques designed to alter frequency, attuning consciousness to higher states of awareness. Thoth spoke of the power of sacred sound, how specific words and tones could activate energy centers in the body and mind. This knowledge has not been lost, it has simply been buried under layers of distraction and misinformation, hidden in plain sight. Here's the truth: you don't need permission to access this power, it's always been within you. The ability to raise your vibration, shift your frequency, and create your reality isn't the preserve of the elite, the mystics, or the spiritually gifted. It's your birthright. Once you understand how to channel this energy, you'll realize that the universe itself responds to you. That's why Thoth emphasized the importance of consciously mastering your vibration. He knew that by controlling internal energy, one gains the ability to influence the external world. This is not superstition or wishful thinking, but a principle of reality, an invisible force that governs everything, and that, once understood, allows one to shape one's existence in ways most people cannot even imagine. However, vibration does not exist in isolation. It operates within a system of universal balance, a force that ensures the return to harmony. Those who ignore this principle live in chaos, constantly reacting to the fluctuations of the world around them. But those who learn to align themselves with this cosmic law unlock something extraordinary. They transcend reaction and enter conscious creation. They master not only their own energy, but reality itself. Here is the next great secret of the Emerald Tablets revealed: the principle of balance, the force that holds the entire universe together. Everything in existence seeks harmony: the cycles of nature, the motion of the planets, the rise and fall of civilizations. Nothing remains in disorder forever. But how many times in your life have you felt trapped in imbalance, dragged between opposite extremes, unable to find peace? The Emerald Tablets reveal that balance is not a simple concept but a universal law, a force as real as gravity, as powerful as time itself, that governs everything from cosmic motions to the flow of energy in your body. Once you understand this truth, you stop fighting reality and begin to flow with it. Thoth spoke of the principle of balance as an unbreakable law that brings everything back into harmony. Because of this, emotional turmoil, destructive actions, and chaotic thoughts inevitably collapse under their own weight. A mind consumed by fear and anger will eventually become exhausted and forced into stillness. A society driven by greed and corruption will eventually collapse and return to a state of order. Those who do not understand this principle resist it, trying to force reality to bend to their will. Those who master it move in perfect harmony with the flow of the universe, using this knowledge to shape their own existence. The ancient world had a greater understanding of balance than modern civilization. The yin and yang of Eastern philosophy, the mat of Egyptian teachings, the hermetic principle of polarity, they all express the same truth. Opposites are not enemies, but two halves of a single whole. Light and darkness, expansion and contraction, order and chaos, these forces are not meant to be at war, but to coexist in harmony, each lending meaning to the other. Yet society has conditioned you to resist this, to reject discomfort, to fear struggle, to believe that peace is something external to be pursued. Thoth revealed a different truth. True mastery comes not from avoiding imbalance, but from learning to navigate it. You've experienced this before, perhaps without realizing it. Think of a time when you were overwhelmed by stress or frustration, until you reached a breaking point where your mind suddenly went silent and clarity emerged from the chaos. That was balance being restored. Or moments of profound joy that seemed to come unexpectedly after difficult times. That too was balance in action. These cycles manifest in every aspect of existence, from your thoughts to the great movements of history. When you learn to recognize them, you cease to be a slave to them. The key lies in your inner energy. Just as the universe seeks harmony, so does your consciousness. Thoth taught that those who can stabilize their inner world gain control over external reality. For this reason, monks, sages, and mystics have always sought stillness, for a balanced mind is a mind that cannot be dominated. When you stop reacting, when you stop swinging between emotional extremes, when you learn to maintain your center, no matter what happens around you, you become untouchable. But balance is not just about inner mastery, it extends to everything you create, every action you take, every ripple you make in the world. If you operate from a state of desperation, trying to force results, chasing success, or manipulating circumstances, you will constantly encounter resistance. But when you move with unshakable alignment, trusting the rhythm of life, everything begins to flow effortlessly. You've probably felt this before, moments when everything seemed to flow, when the right opportunities presented themselves, when life unfolded naturally. It wasn't luck, it was balance in motion. That's why those who understand universal laws don't force, they align. They move with the flow rather than against it. They know that balance is not a random occurrence, but a condition that can be cultivated, directed, and mastered. Those who can do this gain immeasurable power. They walk between the worlds, free from extremes, moving through life with grace and certainty, inspiring admiration in those who observe them. But balance is not the ultimate secret, it is a foundation that prepares you for the next revelation, the deeper mystery hidden within the emerald tablets. For once you have learned to stabilize your energy and sense the rhythm of the universe, you are ready to discover the forces that shape existence itself. The unseen powers of reality, those who have watched, guided, and influenced humanity since the dawn of time. They are known as the Lords of the Nine, and what they reveal changes everything. Beyond the illusions of time, beyond the veil of life and death, even beyond the limits of human perception, there exist forces so ancient and powerful that they shape the very fabric of reality. You have been told that existence is a matter of chance, that the universe is chaotic, and that life unfolds without meaning. But the emerald tablets of Thoth reveal a different truth. Reality is not uncontrolled. It is watched over, guided, and maintained by entities of immense power, the Lords of the Nine. These entities are not myths, nor are they gods in the sense that religions ascribe to them. They are the architects of existence, cosmic overseers who govern the flow of energy, the cycles of time, and the evolution of consciousness. Thoth spoke of them not as distant figures, but as forces that interact directly with those who seek the hidden path. He described them as beings ancient beyond comprehension, existing long before humanity and even the formation of the stars. Each of the nine presides over a different aspect of the universe, holding dominion over forces that most people will never understand. They do not interfere directly in human affairs, yet their presence is manifest in every moment of reality. They are the ones who ensure that balance is restored, cycles are fulfilled, and the great cosmic order is maintained. They transcend the laws of men, but are bound by the laws of the cosmos. Throughout history, echoes of the nine can be found hidden in mythology, religions, and sacred teachings. The nine muses of ancient Greece, the nine entities of Egyptian cosmology, the nine unknown men of Indian legend, all are fragments of a deeper truth. Even today, secret societies and esoteric groups have attempted to preserve knowledge of these entities, knowing that those who align themselves with the Lords of the Nine gain access to powers beyond human comprehension. But what does all this mean to you? If these beings exist, if they truly oversee the flow of existence, the question is not whether they influence reality, but how you can align yourself with their wisdom. Thoth spoke of the nine as guardians of the higher dimensions of consciousness, revealing that those who wish to awaken must first prove themselves worthy. For this reason, initiates of the ancient mystery schools faced trials, and only the most disciplined minds gained access to the deeper teachings, not because knowledge should be denied, but because only those who are ready can wield it responsibly. This is the occult reason why modern society has stripped the individual of all true spiritual power. You have been taught to see yourself as insignificant, to believe that consciousness is a mere biological accident, that there is no higher structure in the universe. For if you knew the truth, if you understood that reality is not a prison but a field that you can interact with, shape, and influence, you would no longer be controllable. Those who understand the nine do not live by the same rules as others. They do not see obstacles as ordinary people do. They move with the awareness that they are not separate from the forces that drive the universe, but an integral part of them. Thoth wrote that the lords of the nine can be contacted, that their presence can be felt by those who tune into higher frequencies. He described methods of vibrational alignment, ways to raise consciousness to a state where their wisdom becomes accessible. This is why symbols, sounds, and geometric patterns have been used for millennia. They are keys, tools to move awareness beyond the physical realm. The flower of life, the sacred geometry carved into ancient temples, the resonant frequencies of forgotten chants, all fragments of a higher knowledge, clues left for those who seek the path. But this path is not for the inert or passive. It is for those willing to free themselves from limitations, to move beyond fear, to understand that power is not granted, but claimed. Once you align yourself with the flow of cosmic law, once you move beyond the illusion imposed by the world, the next revelation becomes clear. Reality itself is not fixed. It is fluid, shaped by sound, frequency, and the power of the word. The same force that created the cosmos can be channeled by those who understand its nature. This is the next great secret of the Emerald Tablets, the knowledge of how sound creates existence itself. There is a reason why ancient civilizations placed such paramount importance on the spoken word, on chants and sacred sounds. This was never mere poetry or insubstantial ritual. It was an understanding of a much deeper truth, one that has been largely forgotten by modern society. The Emerald Tablets of Thoth reveal one of the most powerful secrets of all. Sound is not just vibration, it is the force that shapes reality itself. Every word you speak, every thought you voice, every sound that passes through the fabric of existence carries with it an energy that can create, alter, and influence the world around you. Thoth knew this truth, as did the initiates of the ancient mystery schools. He wrote, "Sing the song of freedom, create the high vibration that will make you one with the all." This was not a metaphor, but a precise instruction. The universe is built through frequency, a huge interaction of energies that move at different rhythms, giving shape to what you perceive as physical existence. If you look at reality at a fundamental level, what appears as solid matter is nothing but vibrating energy fields, constantly changing, influenced by invisible forces. And one of the most powerful of these forces is sound. This is why certain frequencies strike you on a level deeper than the conscious mind, why some melodies can uplift your spirit while other sounds create uneasiness, why ancient chants and mantras have been used in different cultures not out of superstition, but to attune the body and mind to specific vibrational states. The Emerald Tablets reveal that sound, when used with intent, can align you to higher frequencies, allowing you to free yourself from mental and physical limitations. This is the key that has always been hidden in plain sight. Modern science is beginning to uncover what Thoth had already revealed. The discipline of cymatics, the study of visible sound vibrations, has demonstrated that sound waves affect matter in precise, repeatable ways. When frequencies pass through water or sand, they generate geometric patterns that mirror the sacred geometry found in ancient temples and sacred texts. These are not coincidences, but tangible evidence of a deeper truth. Sound is the architect of reality. Vibration gives structure to the formless. And if sound can shape matter, what does that mean about the words you speak and the thoughts you voice? Every sound you make is not just noise, but a command to the universe, a ripple in the energy field of existence. For this reason, ancient texts warned against the careless use of words. because affirmations and invocations were used to manifest reality, because silence itself was revered in esoteric traditions. Words hold immense power, and those who understand that power can use it to shape their own destiny. This knowledge has been hidden, diluted in superstition, and transformed into forgotten law. For if humanity truly understood the creative force of sound, society could no longer function as it does today. If you knew that your words affected not only your mind, but the very structure of reality, would you speak differently? Would you think differently? Would you allow the voices of fear, doubt, and limitation to determine your experience? Or would you begin to consciously direct your vibration, aligning your voice with the frequencies of creation? The teachings of Thoth reveal that those who learn to master sound gain access to abilities that transcend what most think possible: manifestation, healing, even the alteration of consciousness itself. It all begins with an understanding of how frequency interacts with reality. This is why the most ancient and powerful symbols of wisdom were not only written but spoken. The names of the gods, the sacred invocations, the vibratory keys hidden in ancient languages all held power beyond mere meaning. For this reason, modern language has been stripped of its energetic force. Because you are bombarded by meaningless words, your attention drowned in distractions, the most powerful phrases reduced to cliches and empty slogans. When words lose meaning, they also lose their ability to shape reality. But those who remember, those who understand that sound is more than mere communication, can reclaim this lost power. But sound alone is not enough. It represents only one part of a larger system, one aspect of a deep knowing that governs all things. The Emerald Tablets do more than reveal secrets. They provide a blueprint for unlocking the hidden forces within you. And if you have come this far, then you are ready to take the next step. You are ready to understand the process of unlocking that knowing, the path to inner mastery that has been traveled by seekers for millennia. The ultimate truth is this: the ancient knowledge was never lost. It has always been there, waiting for those who are ready to receive it. Most people will never find this knowledge, not because it is hidden, but because they have been conditioned not to seek it. The world around you is designed to distract you, to keep your mind occupied with trivial concerns, to drown out the whispers of ancient truth that have always resided within and around you. The Emerald Tablets of Thoth reveal that knowledge is not given, it is claimed. The path to inner mastery is not traveled by chance, nor is it offered to those who merely desire it. It must be conquered, and only those willing to transcend the illusions of the physical world will ever grasp its true depth. Thoth did not write the Emerald Tablets for the masses. He left them to the seekers, those who sensed there was something more, something just beyond the threshold of ordinary perception. He knew that knowledge without wisdom is dangerous, that power without understanding leads inevitably to destruction. For this reason, the teachings were codified, layered in symbolism, cloaked in myth and legend, not to shut you out, but to ensure that only those who were truly ready could access them. For mastery is not about the accumulation of information, but about the transformation of being. The first step is to understand that the world around you is not separate from you. What you seek is not found in a temple, or in a book, or in another person. It resides within you, waiting to be unlocked. The great sages and initiates had nothing that you do not already have. They simply knew how to access the latent power that resides within every human being. The question is not whether you have that power, but whether you are willing to awaken it. The Emerald Tablets speak of the halls of Amenti, a hidden realm where souls undergo transformation before returning to physical existence. Thoth described this place as a place of deep knowledge, where consciousness is weighed, purified, and prepared for higher states of being. But what if Amenti were not just a place but a state of awareness? What if the journey through Amenti were not something reserved for the afterlife, but an experience possible in life? Initiates of the ancient world knew that the greatest transformations occur not in the external world, but within the mind itself. They walk the path of inner mastery using the principles of vibration, balance, and sacred sound to access deeper dimensions of consciousness. But this path is not for everyone. That is why so few truly awaken, while most dismiss these teachings as fantasy or myth. Because taking this path means abandoning the illusions that society has imposed on you. It means understanding that your thoughts create your reality, that your emotions shape your frequency, that your words command the very structure of existence, and it means taking responsibility for that power. That is why modern civilization has done everything to suppress these truths. The moment you realize that you are not a victim of reality but its creator, you become impossible to control. When you understand that life does not happen to you but through you, you stop living within the limitations of the world. This is the knowledge passed down through secret schools, guarded by those who understood its power. That is why the greatest minds in history, Da Vinci, Pythagoras, Tesla, studied the same principles contained in the Emerald Tablets. They knew that reality is not static but fluid, shaped by those who have the awareness to see beyond the illusion. Now this knowledge is in your hands. You stand on the threshold of something greater, beyond the limits of ordinary human comprehension. But the question remains, what will you do with it? Most will hear these words and go back to their lives unchanged, letting the distractions of the world drag them back into oblivion. But few will feel the calling, that undeniable knowing that brought them here for a reason. For those who are ready, the next step is clear. True transformation requires action. The final secret of the Emerald Tablets is not just about knowing, but about applying that knowledge to reshape your reality. The journey is not over, it is only just beginning. Most will never get there. They will hear the words, feel the spark of curiosity, but then allow the weight of reality imposed upon them to drag them back. The illusions of the world are powerful, enough to keep entire civilizations asleep, enough to make individuals believe they are helpless, trapped within the limitations they have been induced to accept. But you are still here, and that means something. It means that a part of you already knows the truth. It means that deep down, you have always sensed that this world is not what it seems, and that you are much more than you have been told. The Emerald Tablets of Thoth are not merely historical relics, nor another collection of esoteric teachings. They are a living blueprint for those who are ready to awaken. They reveal the hidden laws that govern reality, the forces that shape existence, and the methods by which consciousness can transcend its own limitations. The question is no longer whether this knowledge is real, but what you choose to do with it. For those who reject these teachings, life will continue as it always has. An endless cycle of repetition, reacting to the outside world, never questioning why events happen. They will pursue goals that are not truly theirs. They will walk paths designed to keep them distracted, and they will fear the unknown instead of embracing it. They will live by the laws of men, unaware of the higher laws that govern existence itself. But for those who accept the truth, a new path will open, a path of mastery, where life is no longer something that happens, but something that is shaped with intention, where the occult forces that have influenced you since birth will no longer be invisible but understood, where fear will be replaced by knowledge and limitation by possibility. The greatest initiates in history didn't just acquire knowledge, they applied it. They learned to control their energy, to transcend the illusion of time, to speak with power, to align themselves with universal balance. They understood that the physical world is nothing more than a projection, a reflection of the frequencies they tuned into. They knew that true transformation comes not from outside sources, but from within. That power is still available to you. It has always been there, waiting beneath the noise, buried beneath layers of distraction, fear, and doubt. The Emerald Tablets were not meant to remain as ancient texts gathering dust. They were meant to be used, studied, and lived, but only by those willing to break the patterns that keep them dormant. This knowledge is only the beginning. You have been brought here for a reason. Whether you choose to continue on this path or turn back is your choice. The Emerald Tablets have held this wisdom for millennia, waiting for the right time, waiting for those willing to listen. If these words have touched that part of you that has never stopped searching, then this is the time to act. Leave your like to confirm that you too see beyond the illusion. Write in the comments, "I understand," if you feel you are among those who are ready to awaken. And subscribe to the channel, because this is only the beginning of a journey that not everyone has the courage to undertake, but you do. May your inner light never be obscured by the shadows of the world. See you soon, where only those who are aware know they can arrive.